Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about the Biden administration, the EPA, the National Security Advisor, and their message to the various governors when it comes to your water and what's going on and how that information is going out. Okay, so the EPA and the National Security Advisor have reached out to the various governors. And they've basically said, hey, y'all kind of need to get on the ball when it comes to protecting water infrastructure against cyber attacks. And this includes both drinking water, wastewater, just across the board. And part of the conversation included this. Even basic cybersecurity precautions, such as resetting default passwords or updating software to address known vulnerabilities, are not in place and can mean the difference between business as usual and a disruptive cyber attack. Okay, so first things first, you're talking about 150,000 or so different systems because of the way the United States is distributed in this regard. It's not one system, it's a bunch, and they all have to be protected. Anybody who's familiar with this type of security understands it's difficult at best. Now, because of the way this went out, you can expect a whole bunch of very alarmist stuff, especially because they talked about something that Iran did and something that China may be doing, and so on and so forth. There's going to be a lot of fear-mongering about this. So let's start with this. Iran was allegedly successful. I believe they're saying they didn't do it, although, I mean, it certainly appears to have been Iran. Back in November, they gained access to a system and used the equipment to display messages that were, quote, anti-Israel. Okay? China, the allegations there are that China is pre-positioning. They're finding vulnerabilities in different systems in case they ever needed to disrupt U.S. water supplies during a conflict. It is important to note, as all of the coverage starts to ramp up of this, that at no point in time have any of these operations actually disrupted or hurt the water supply. This is a preventative thing. The tone of it is very direct. Hey, you need to get on the ball about this. This is important. Make sure you allocate the funding, make sure that the stuff gets updated, change the passwords, so on and so forth. It's very direct in that regard because it could be serious, not because there has been a serious impact. This is simply good preventative security presented in a direct way. It's not indicative of anything happening tomorrow. I think that's important to stress, that this is a proactive thing, not reacting to something that is damaging or disrupting the systems. Okay, so that's what's going on with that. I'll go ahead and say you can expect very similar messages about other forms of critical infrastructure. Cyber warfare is becoming it is a very accepted form of response short of war. So it's something that's going to have to be addressed more often, and it's going to be in the headlines more often. Again, it's not indicative of something happening tomorrow. This is one of those things, a lot like during the Cold War, where you had all of the all of the announcements to be ready for this, and this is how you build this, and this is what happens if, if there's this kind of strike, and so on and so forth. It's the same kind of stuff. It's worth noting that during the Cold War, that messaging, that training, that proactive security stuff went on for decades and was never used. Cyber attacks are much lower impact, so there's probably a higher chance that at some point it will be used. But this messaging that went out to the governors is proactive, not reactive. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.